I call the widow of the deceased, Lady Marjorie Isham.
Lady Marjorie Isham, please.
I shall never forget that night. Never. And I would do anything to find the fiend responsible for my husband's foul murder.
I'm sure you will. Now, we understand that there was a party on that Christmas Eve. Is that so?
Yes. Bob thought it would be nice, it being Christmas.
Bob being Mr. Hammond, the accused?
Yes.
Did you and your husband attend that party?
I did. Stanley, my late husband, did not.
Why was that?
He was very tired.
Yes, I see. And you arrived upstairs at Mr. Hammond's flat at about what time?
Just before 9 o'clock.
And when did you leave Mr. Hammond's flat again?
At 11:30 Christmas morning.
Did you leave Mr. Hammond's flat at any time or for any purpose between 9 p.m. on Christmas Eve and 11:30 on Christmas Day?
No, never.
And during all that time, were you alone with Mr. Hammond?
Oh, no, they were all there.
They?
Oh, yes, Miss Webster and Sir Nicholas and Standish and Bob, of course.
Lady Isham, in what room of Mr. Hammond's flat was this party held?
The living room.
And you were in that room all the time?
Well, yes. Well, once or twice, perhaps. Just for a moment, I may have.
Oh, yes, of course. Now, had anyone left the flat, would you have seen them go?
Oh, yes.
And did anyone leave the flat?
Well, no one except...
Yes, except?
Except Bob, of course.
And when did he leave the flat?
When he went up to see my husband at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Was it a good party, Lady Isham?
Oh, yes.
You talked, drank, danced, perhaps?
Yes, a little.
And the party continued in this vein until what time?
About 1 o'clock.
And then what happened?
Well, I became worried because the music was rather loud and I was afraid it would disturb my husband, so I asked Bob if he would mind turning it down a little.
And did he?
Mind or turn it down?
Either.
He turned it up.
And then?
I begged. I implored. I knew there was going to be trouble, a scene. He became very confused. He'd had a great deal to drink. And then he started shouting and he turned the knob until the music got louder and louder. And then he said he was going to go down and sort him out.
Meaning your husband?
Yes.
And?
He went down.
Mr. Hammond, the accused?
Yes.
And when he'd gone?
We waited.
For how long?
Oh, about 5 minutes. It could have been longer, I don't really know.
All of you together in that room?
Yes. And then...
Yes.
Bob came back.
And?
He just stood there in the doorway, staring as if he'd seen a ghost.
What happened then?
Well, it was late and I was tired, and I said, Bob, I must go home. It's awfully late. And I went to go past him through the door, and he said no. No, he said. And he slammed the door in my face, turned the key, walked across the room and threw it out of the window.
The key?
Yes. He threw it as far as he could. We could see it lying there in the snow. It was snowing, my lord. It was glistening in the light from the library window.
So you were all, in effect, locked in?
Yes, all of us.
Did any of you remark on this fact?
Oh, we all did. Well, and then he said, and a Merry Christmas to you too. And he went into his bedroom and he slammed the door.
And then?
We played Scrabble.
You what?
Oh, we couldn't get out, you see.
Did no one have a duplicate key to the room?
No.
Could you not telephone for help?
Well, the phone was downstairs.
Did you make any attempt to arouse your husband's attention?
Well, yes, we all did. We yelled and we screamed and we stamped on the floor, but he didn't come. Well, he couldn't, of course.
No.
And then we decided that, well, he'd gone to bed and that when he woke up in the morning, he would come and see what had happened.
Yes. And having resigned yourself to the inevitable, you played Scrabble.
Then Standish made the breakfast and I became rather worried because my husband hadn't come to see where I was, so we decided to wake up Bob.
And did you?
I went in.
Yes, you went in and?
I saw his hand.
Yes?
On the cover. He was sound asleep. and his hand was all covered in blood.
And then?
I screamed, and the others all rushed in.
Did Mr. Hammond awake?
No, he just turned over and muttered something like, "No bacon, please, love," and then went back to sleep again. So we all backed out on tiptoe, you know, and we talked it over. We were rather worried. And then Miss Webster went up the chimney.
She what?
Well, she climbed up the chimney, my lord. She climbed up and down the side of the house. There was ivy on the wall. And then she got the key and came back the same way and let us out.
She must have got excessively dirty.
Oh, she did. And then we all went downstairs and we found Stanley.
Quite. Now, Lady Isham, what was your relationship with the accused?
I beg your pardon.
To put it quite bluntly, Lady Isham, was Bob Hammond your lover?
That's... What a terrible thing to say.
I take it then that your answer is no.
Almost emphatically.
You were, if I may be permitted the cliché, just good friends?
Oh, yes. Well, that is...
Yes, Lady Isham?
Well, they say a woman always knows, don't they? Not that I ever gave him any encouragement.
Lady Isham, did this man ever make advances to you?
Yes, once.
When?
At the party.
In front of the other guests?
Oh, no, in the kitchen. Well, he was in there preparing the supper, and I went in to help when he grabbed me and kissed me under the mistletoe. He had it there in the kitchen.
Did you respond to his advances?
No. I mean, I pulled away, but he grabbed my hand and he said...
Yes, Lady Isham?
I'd rather not say.
I'm afraid you must.
Must I, my lord?
Yes, madam.
Well, he said, if Stanley wasn't there, would I stand a chance?
Stanley, of course, being...
My husband. My late husband.
Quite. And what did you say?
Well, what could I say? I mean, he was very drunk, and I felt sorry for him. He was such an impulsive boy, so I just ran back to the others.
That's a bloody lie! She loves me, she said so often enough. And that mistletoe in the kitchen, she put it there.
It's not true, it isn't. I was devoted to my husband. Devoted.